Hello there guys, welcome back to another one. And today, the best club or the club who has won the most Champions League in the world, Real Madrid. This summer, Real Madrid has been moving mad. Well, even before the summer, just as the window was about to end. With Jose Mourinho coming into the team, we noticed last season a lot of egos, having Xabi Alonso, then to who is the present coach of Chelsea, then to Abelua, who is the present coach of Fulham. Having these two managers try to calm these players down, play together, and all of those didn't work, which made them lose La Liga and the Champions League. That's my own opinion. Knowing this ego, having this a lot of egos in the team, Mbappe, Valverde, Couture that you can count as that, Vinicius, Bellingham, all of these players who have achieved a lot. The club standard, the club morale, the club view of everybody. And once you go into Real Madrid, you already know you're a big player. That's just it. That's just it. And Diego will begin to come in. You begin to feel as the main man in every team you go to. And with so many links of all of these players going to other clubs, but these players still saying they want to prove themselves at Real Madrid. That's just how it is. It's very difficult for you to leave Real Madrid once you sign for Real Madrid, and it's also very easy for you to leave if you don't prove yourself. But there have been a lot of mistakes in my idea in this summer for Real Madrid. But we are going to look at how Real Madrid is going to line up according to me, or what I think could actually be the real way according to Jose Mourinho. Looking at Jose Mourinho's past, the kind of players he has worked with, and also to what he has also been trying to build over the summer in the preseason game. Now let's jump into it. Before we go into the starting 11 or the lineup and the benches of how I think they can line up or for Real Madrid, is bringing in Jose Mourinho is one of the actually the best move that I've seen from them this summer. Bringing in Jose Mourinho, letting him build that squad or letting him tell the players that this is my team for at least the next 1-2 years. This is where I'm going to be. There's nothing that is going to happen. If you like misbehave this year, I'm still going to be here next year. And maybe next year you can begin to misbehave or do whatever you. Now, I said this in one of my previous videos that I actually do think that he is not actually so influentially here to win a lot of trophies. Yes, Jose Mourinho has his own ambitions as himself. As a man, you should have your own ambitions. As one of the best managers in world football, in the whole history of football, he has his own ambitions by himself, which is to win the Champions League that he never won at Real Madrid. He won the La Liga, he won every other cup except from the Champions League. Now, that is one thing that I think is going to be pushing ahead to win this season. But with all of that, he has brought in a lot of men that he has actually seen to be one of the people that he wants to work with, following Marco Cucurella, but come on, Marco Cucurella, Konate from Liverpool, Dumfries from Inter Milan, and then Bernardo Silva from Man City. But some of these signing actually did look like panic signings from Real Madrid. But don't get me wrong, they're actually very good players. And I think wherever players like maybe Bernardo Silva go into, whatever team they go into, they'll surely be very important for that team. They may not be starting because of maybe age and already style of play. They can't really run around a lot that much any longer. Their style of play and the way they play, the way they control the football, their experience and all of that, going to help them thrive in wherever team they go to, whether it be Real Madrid, whether it be Barcelona, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, whatever. Players like Silva, Cucurella, I also see Dumfries in some extent. But I have a problem with Konate. Konate is not actually that star defender that everybody do think he is. We saw him in the World Cup. Well, you can also say the same thing for Lacroix coming in to Chelsea, that when he came into a back four in the World Cup, it was a problem for him. But talking about Konate, who is more experienced, played together with a lot of experienced players, Van Dijk, Saliba, all of these people, and then seeing him in that World Cup come in to fill in the shoes of I just hope I'm getting his name right. Yeah, Saliba. He literally performed woefully, like awfully woefully. That's how I seem this performance to be. He could never break into the starting 11. Yeah, that's it. And also the signing of Yan Diomande, I actually came out to say I don't think Yan Diomande should have come to Real Madrid. He's a very good player. I watched him at the World Cup. I've watched him also at his previous club. A very, very, very good player. Takes his man on, similar to Vinicius Junior, but he's a right wing. He can also play on the left wing. But the reason why I say I don't think he should have come to Real Madrid at the moment, Real Madrid are not the type of team that will wait for a young player to grow. Yes, they did it for Vinicius, but for Vinicius, they had a lot of players already in that place on that wing, with Ronaldo in the team, with Benzema in the team, with all of those players. Even Bale at some point was in the team. And Diomande, yes, Vini is in the team, Rodrigo is in the team, Mbappe is in the team, Bellingham is in the team for him to get himself, but he's actually been brought in as a starter because the right wing has been a problem. Masentuano has gone on loan to Fiorentina. Brahim Diaz does not seem to be playing very well on that right wing. At one point in the season, last season. Xabi Alonso put Trent as a right winger. Goulia has also played there at some points. Even Valverde has played there at some point. Bellingham has played there at some point. Even Mbappe drifted to that place at some point last season. But now bringing in Diomande is still in that position and say, okay, this position is for you if you can fight with Brahim Diaz, because loaning Mascherano literally means Mascherano cannot have a point in that place at the moment or this season. So fighting with only Brahim Diaz is kind of saying, putting everything on his shoulder and saying, this position is yours and prove to us what you can actually do. So this is one of the reasons why I say he shouldn't have come to Real Madrid. Well, it's up to him. Can he keep up with the pressure? Can he keep up with everything that Real Madrid has to offer for him? Can he keep up with the Santiago Bernabeu? Because it's a very, very exciting place to be. But for players, when you're not on the Real Madrid side, it's going to be very difficult. The only team that has actually made that place their second home is Barcelona. A classical. But that's not it. So now let's jump into the teams or how I think the team is going to be arranged. Now I fixed my cam because the other time I discovered that the cam was, but I fixed it. So how the team is going to look like, I started with the Courtois and Lunin. And now looking at that Courtois and Lunin partner or partnership, it's like Real Madrid does not have any other goalkeeper. Yes, they can bring from their Castellas, whatever they call their youth team. They can bring from them from their team B. Looking at it, they don't really have that. And this is where I would try to pressure Real Madrid. Real Madrid, Robert Sanchez. Yes, I would still want Robert Sanchez. From my previous video, you will understand I would still want Robert Sanchez. We have Robert Sanchez at the club, and I think we'll be ready to lease him out for like 50 million. I think call the owners at Chelsea, Blueco, they would like to do business with you just as you've done business with. But they don't really have a much depth. If Courtois is injured, if Lunin is injured, it's going to be a problem because Courtois has saved Real Madrid a lot, especially during the Champions League and a lot of, even sometimes in the La Liga, but he has saved them a lot in the Champions League and he has proved to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. But that's still it. Courtois is going to be there. Is age 40 something at the moment. Reflex is all that matters. I think Courtois is still at that level that Lunin, who is young, 25 years of age, if I remember, cannot still replace him from that first starting 11. The experience, the skills, the ability from Courtois is just top notch. Now, going to the defense, as you can see here, his strength, together with Dumfries, if Mourinho wants to play a back three, or if he wants someone to be dashing up in front, these two are actually very viable. Carvajal has already left the club. I think he has left to Real Betis. I don't really remember, but I think he has left the club. And a very good player, legend at the club of Real Madrid, has won everything with, literally almost played with every generation at Real Madrid. And so, but he has left now. Trent and Dumfries are there to fill in the shoes. And I think they can do it well. Looking at Dumfries playing for Inter Milan, what he did at Inter Milan, the ability for him to bump up the pitch. Well, but defensively, two of them can be susceptible. Trent and Dumfries, very good at passing, very good at shooting, very good at crossing the ball. They have no problem at that place. Now, this is where defensive attribute of Konate and Militao comes in. If Militao has the ability to stay fit throughout the whole season, I don't see Konate displacing him at most. I don't see it possible. But Militao is going to Militao. I don't know. It's Brazilian. Militao. So Militao is probably going to be there, the starting 11, but he's injured at the moment. So Konate is probably, you're going to see more of Konate. And they also have some people at the bench. Asensio, I'm not really. Oh, Asensio is actually there. Since that guy came on, people started picking him up and say, oh, this guy is next Sergio Ramos. The guy is not good. I'm sorry. From the first time he came into their first 11, it was not good. I think it was only one game that he was good at, and I was like, oh, maybe he can prove people wrong. But after that game, when I watched the games where he played for Real Madrid against the team, Real Betis, where this guy from Man U, he literally ended him. That's it. Uysin, Rudiger, Asensio. I think this leave Asensio out of it. Uysin and Rudiger, very top-notch defenders. Uysin has been learning from Rudiger. The defensive attributes, fighting spirit is one you can actually learn from Rudiger. And I actually used to take Rudiger at Chelsea at the moment. Rudiger and Uysin, very, very, very. And then we see Cucurella, Carreras, and Mendy. Mendy, I think, should actually be sold this season. If not this season, maybe should be loaned out because injury attributes, still one of their best left back from last season. With Cucurella coming in, I don't think there's a place for him at the moment because Cucurella is not actually he's not an injury. At Chelsea, every time there was going to be a match for Chelsea, Cucurella was the first name on the team sheet. him and Caicedo. But Cucurella, not an injury-prone player. He knows how to keep himself. He knows how to train himself very well, and he knows how to bump up that pitch that he does not get injured. And he's also a very good defender. He's a very good defender. He knows how to box crash. He knows how to do link-up plays. Of course, he's a Spaniard. He knows how to do all of these link-up plays. So we saw him lock Yamal up. So his defensive attributes, his passing, his play style, although he's not technical on the ball. That is, he does not know how to do all this flick. So he doesn't know how to do all of this dribbling, layers of the ball, all of those things, which maybe not really necessary because he's playing under Jose Mourinho. So we see Jose Mourinho probably line up in this 4-3. Carreras is still young, he's going to learn under Cucurella. When Cucu is getting much older, or if there's any injury prone for Cucu, for sure we'll see Carreras. Or in other games. But Cucurella is just one player that I know that it's going to be very difficult for any player, young or old, who is behind him to displace him. We saw it at Chelsea. Hato could not really do anything. He could not even get game time except he was playing left centre back. Valverde, Tchouaméni, and this is where Bernardo Silva actually comes in. I actually see a possibility where Valverde is on the bench and Bernardo Silva under Jose Mourinho. I don't know how true it's going to be, but I see it possible because Bernardo Silva is that player that is like a Vitinha where he doesn't run too much to the front and he does not run too much to the back. You just see him running around. You just see him jogging up and down, and then he'll be moving that ball, he'll be controlling the ball. As you've seen against him, they played against yesterday. Sorry, I forgot the name. They only won 1-0, but you saw his ability. That ability to move the ball. He can move the ball quick. He can move the ball controllable. He can move the ball. He can move the ball anyhow the manager wants him to move the ball. So I see him starting ahead of Valverde and Ipitach. Ipitach has actually been rumored that Real Madrid is actually fine with him staying. So I think he's going to stay and learn all of this. And then Tchouaméni Camavinga. Now this is a problem where we might see Valverde here instead of Tchouaméni. It's been rumored that Jose Mourinho is not too sure about these two players. But I think there are these two players that can actually still learn under Bernardo Silva a lot. Now I'm calling Bernardo Silva in all of these cases. I know what he can bring into his team. I know his leadership qualities, and I know the abilities that he possesses on the ball, the attributes he possesses on the ball, which I've mentioned previously already. Tchouaméni and Camavinga are probably also going to learn under him, and then they will still see some minutes to play together with the Valverde and Camavinga. I think those are the three that are going to fight for that spot. Bellingham, Goulet, this is straightforward. Bellingham that is going to be fit throughout the whole season is going to play the whole season. Now, this is where we can see maybe Goulet shift on to the right-hand side to fight for that right wing position with a Domade Brahim Diaz. If Brahim Diaz does not leave, that's what we're going to see. Bellingham, top-notch player. I call him the English Pele. I know he's not that good, but he has those kind of attributes and those kind of play style. On this side, Vinicius Rodrigo. Yes, Vinicius renewed his contract. Rodrigo very surely going to be sad because he's going to be thinking, Vini is going to leave. I'm going to be there. Mbappe, maybe I'm going to try to play together with Mbappe, and Mbappe is going to be in the night. Vini is staying, he has renewed his contract, and Rodrigo is going to be back up still. We're also probably going to see him on that right position. This is the good thing that Real Madrid actually do well. They have players that want to fight for their position if they actually do fight for their position. And these players are not just dead players. They are players that in any team in Europe at the moment will walk into their starting 11. And since these players have the ability to, they have the skill, you can say they have the experience because they played in the World Cup, some have played in the AFCON, some have played in top competitions in Champions League final, in Champions League semi-finals and quarterfinals, in all Champions League games. Experience choking, skills choking, technical abilities choking, players that still want to fight for the badge, players that still want to play in the distance. That is where Real Madrid still has upper hand in a lot of. Now up to the front, Mbappe, Endrick and SP. Endrick has been rumored to stay at the club. Aston Villa wanted to loan him. I think Newcastle also wanted to loan him. Real Madrid said he's not for sale or they're not going to let him out to loan. And if they actually let him out to loan, they're not going to put any clause and that team is not going to have the ability. So Mbappe is going to stay, and in my view, Vinicius should have been let gone. Mbappe should go back to his left wing, where he was known to be a world-class player, and then bring in one player who you guys are actually going to surprise, Victor Osimhen. Yes, a lot of people are looking down so much on Victor Osimhen, and I don't get the reason why. Look so much down on this guy just because he has maybe his fighting spirit, which he still has with Mbappe. Jose Mourinho really loves Victor Osimhen. He wanted to bring him to Fenerbahce when he was at Turkey. All of these things, do Victor Osimhen to Real Madrid and let's see it. Like, it's going to give you the fighting spirit. It's going to listen. He does not have so much bad attitude like all these other Vini and Mbappe, sorry, but he has this fighting spirit to want to always carry his team. He does not have this star player like mentality where he's not going to be tracking back. He will still track back. He will still do everything. He will still fight for the team and do everything. Give everything to the team. But I don't understand it that they still want Mbappe and Edric and SP. Yes, they brought in SP, but they brought in SP from a La Liga team also. And the guy is a giant. He's like 6 something tall. I think over 200 centimeters. The guy is so tall. He's someone that they needed with the absence of Joselu, who they sold already. That's just it. I think they should try to bring in a Victor Osimhen. He has the experience. He has done it at Lille, Napoli, Galatasaray. He has done it at so many clubs, banging in a lot of goals, trying to carry his team and all of. Did it against Liverpool. Liverpool fans will remember. I feel this season we'll see more fighting between Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, who has also seemed to be doing more. They brought in this guy from PSG, Kangelin from PSG, and one other player from England. I just forgot. We'll see more a classical battles. We'll see more a classical brawls. I think it's going to be a very good season. Real Madrid, but if they can adhere to Jose Mourinho, then we can see them winning. We can see them winning the Champions League. That league is just for Barcelona. I'm sorry. That league is just for Barcelona. And then we'll get to Barcelona and one other team. We'll drop 2 videos on Sunday. We'll get to 2 other teams very soon. Barcelona and one other English team. Catch you guys in the next one. The break is about to be over. Teams are already fixing in their squad. This is why I'm doing this at the right moment. I can't wait to see Jose Mourinho in action. Catch you guys. Don't forget to like and see you guys in the next one. Bye.